So you're working on your truck. You come over here and you're leaning on this thing. You happen to lean on your radiator hose and you hear stuff, water running. It's like, what the heck? Are you freaking kidding me? The attachment to the radiator is broke. What a cheap piece of plastic junk. Ay, caramba. Well, I guess we're replacing the radiator today, huh? Okay, broken radiator thingy. Turns out I have a lifetime warranty on it from November 2009. So that makes it, what's that, 13 years? Unfortunately, AutoZone doesn't have any anywhere. So I'm going to end up getting hit for 250 bucks. But I got to get the top off this and measure it and make sure I'm going to get the right one. I'm also going to change the upper and lower hoses. Of course, the antifreeze. I'll also do the hoses at the same time. These are 10 millimeter. I'm going to get the shroud off it and get in here and measure it up, make sure I'm looking for the right one. Oh yeah, there was a point I wanted to make. So here it's like, ah, damn. Great, that thing broke. What a bummer. Too bad I was even working on it. Well, I need to be thankful that it happened right here in my yard, because this is the kind of thing it was gonna snap anytime. Much rather do it here in the yard at home than 40 miles away from here, or who knows where, on the road, anywhere. It could be anywhere. So you gotta look at the bright side of things sometimes. And why not? So 10 millimeter here, there's one down there with a little bracket on it. It goes to this little breather vent thing. Another one over there, one up here, one down there, the edge, and one down there, and this top part will come off. No, yeah, don't forget the center one here. I'll get that out of the way. It doesn't look so daunting anymore. So I believe this is the big radiator. This is what I want to make sure of. So automatic transmission. Also has an engine oil cooler. It's got lines over here, lines over here, line down there, I think. I think the next thing is to take these brackets off. It comes up, I think that bottom shroud will come out of there. Right now I just want to make sure I get the right one. So this is the big core. And here's the extra oil cooler up in here. So I think that's somehow hooked up in there. Look at that. There's my model number. Very good. Alright, let me get the specs on this one and see if I can find one. Alright, 10 millimeter for the side brackets. Then you got a line up here, a line down there. You see that? Why is this in the way? I'll have that out of the way. Down there. This one's capped off. Another line right under that, and one down there below that. For me, I used a pair of crescent wrenches and a multitude of swearing, and that was enough to get them off of there. And I think gravity is killing me today. Gravity is just kicking my butt. Everything I put anywhere goes flying off onto the floor, onto the ground. Anything, anywhere. Alright. So theoretically, oh, I got a bottom hose. This dang thing is in the way. Bottom hose yet, which is another pain in the butt. Down there, it's got these pinch clamps See that? So I'm using a pair of vice grips to get in there and grab them. Once I get this out of here, I'll figure out how to get up under there and get that one off and change those hoses. Hopefully I got the right ones. I got 40-inch ones. They had 40-inch and 33-inch for some reason. The top one looked like a 40-inch, so I got a 40-inch at the bottom. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to reach in here like so with my vice grips, and I can't see it at the same time, so stand by. Okay, you always want to make sure you drain your coolant into a appropriate container and dispose of it properly. This is what happens when you get it out. You start to take it out, make sure you got all your lines pulled back out of their bushing things. Two over there, and this is what you end up with. It's too bad I don't have this back by the shop where I can blow it out, but I'm going to clean all that out. I got some brake cleaner, a nice pump up Sure Shot sprayer. I'll clean all this gook. I guess that's okay. I got to get that other hose off of there. I think this pops up. I think it's got some. Oh, it's bolted in. Sneaky. Alright, I guess I'll have to try it. Reaching up through here to get that other clamp and get that hose out of there. Definitely want to change that when you change the radiator. You don't want to go back in there. Then, of course, here's what happened. Gotta love plastic radiators. Good old days, I used to repair them. This thing, it was getting ready to go. Like I said, my luck is pretty much holding, even though I had other things to do today. I'd much rather be at home, wishing I was doing other things, than manage to get somewhere and have this happen out on the road somewhere. So, as we say in aviation, much rather be on the ground wishing you were in the air than the other way around. So, let me do some cleaning up. Gotta look at see what's the deal with that top fitting there. It is. Okay, it's right there. Well, hopefully that little plug will work still. Alright, let's get this cleaned up. Alright, so here's how I end up getting in there with my vice grips. You can see and grab and hold it. And there, I've got it so that it closes that up to as far as it'll go. Then I got a long screwdriver, which I'm breaking the seal on this. I'm going to push that off, probably squeeze to hang on to the vice grips at the same time, and then wobble that around so I can slide it off. Okay, real quick, the only way I can see to get that clamp in there is in there like that, pointing this direction. Everything else weaves down under the plastic, comes over there. Alright, so here we are. I was just trying to hose everything down with WD-40 and I seem to run out somehow. While I'm in here, I like to spray everything that's aluminum. And then I spray the entire engine. Does wonders for keeping the electricity and the electrons staying where they belong, and keeping the water out of things, and keeps the aluminum from corroding, which is much nicer not having corroded aluminum. If I said it before, as you can see, the fan's not that old. Water pump's not that old. I put an alternator on it since I've been here. I'm going to do the belt, this pulley as well, and the idler pulley. So the point is, you know, you can tell, you look in here, you don't see all this kind of stuff, but that's why this thing has 317,000 miles on it. It's still going. Alright, we're getting ready to put the radiator in here. You got line down here at the bottom, line up here at the top, line down there at the bottom, which is a world pain because of this plastic shroud at the bottom, which is screwed to it. There's that little clamp there, and then the line up here at the top. I've already connected that bottom hose down there, and you can see that's about the only place to put those clamps, but it actually works out. You got room to get in there. Anytime you're gonna have to do that, you're probably gonna have to radiator it anyway. And that one I've got straight up. Hopefully I can get in straight in on that one. The top one's no big deal. Alright, I'm going to set that thing in there. Oops, I got to take the plug off the top of the radiator on there and put it on the new one to block off that water port. Alright. I would do that, and then I'm going to set that in there. Okay, so be careful. These are not tight. Tighten those up. It looks kind of funky. I hope they got thread tape on them. I hate to think that I have to pull those back out of there. There's no instructions here. If they leak, I guess I will be doing that. I'll have to take it back to this point, except for the, yeah, pretty much take the top off it and reach back down there and monkey with those things. And I'm going to take a shot at it. I also wrote on the top of the radiator. You wouldn't think it's like, lifetime warranty. 10 years from now, if it breaks, what do I care? Well, in my case, I'll still have it. Alright, onward we go. Let's put all these things into place now. Oh yeah, I forgot. Little faith in me I had. It comes with a new little boot and a little winky dinky clamp. So I pitched the little clamp, put the big clamp that I had on there before. Okay, now we're going. Well, that didn't line up with the hoot. Well, it turns out because, look at the other side, there's no those. But what these do have, so you got to take these out on this side if you don't have them. But what it does have on these are these seals. That is going to go. The whole world changes at night. Field of view focuses in. Anyway, so these seals are going to go on here. Although I hope to clean off all the crap that's on it before I put it on. I'm going to take it back off here in a minute anyway, because I'm not going to leave them on there when the radiator goes in. So they go on like that, so those two will seal up. There's a mess on this side. I'm not sure those seals were in the old one. And the other side uses a smaller diameter. Put it over there, okay. I'm gonna hope that, okay, seals are in there. See that? Very good. These are basically set up. They're ready for them to come out anyway. Alright, back to second one, the way it went in. Get out. Okay, our status. I have all 4 lines hooked up. Now these over here, so once you take those bushing things out, make sure you put those orange seals on the end of these lines here. These you can tighten right up against the radiator. No problem. Now mind you, they're O-ring seals, so you don't have to tighten the living crud out of them. Just snug them up really good. These over here, if you'll have noticed when you were taking the these lines off, see if I can behave. When you're taking these lines off, you got to hold this bushing when you take that line off, otherwise the whole thing tries to turn. Same thing when you're going back in. I pulled one of these out to make sure, and yeah, it's got an orange seal just like the other ones up against that. So you snug those up good. Same thing, you don't have to tighten the crap out of them. And when you install these, you want a wrench on both sides. I'm using crescent wrenches. Big one on here, small on there. You're going to be tightening this nut against that bushing. So when that's tight, you hold it in that position. Tighten this, so you're kind of going to be leaning backwards on this one, pushing forward on that one to get them tight. This is a pipe thread, so it's tapered, tightens up as it goes, gets wider as it goes, so it tightens up in this brass bushing and it seals up because of that. So I've got those 2 in here, those 2. I can't get my light out. Jeez, for crying out loud. Yeah, okay, whatever. Got my little plug on there, so I'm going to put that back up there. Oh, it got down there. Oh, end brackets go on. These are like U-channels. You got rubber mounts at the bottom, rubber mounts at the top, fit along this edge. So you kind of pop back in. This pushes back up towards the front. You get a bolt there. You'll see there's a bolt that goes through here too, so you don't need to tighten those up yet. So if you feel like it, right on top of it, just for jollies. And the top piece will drop right on top of that. And it's going to screw those places. A couple more of them. And then we will put, oh yeah, well, you'll see it. That bracket's going to go on top of plastic on this bracket. It screws goes through the bracket and then through two of those, oh, both of them, for this little vent gizmo. And we'll put our radiator hose in. We'll see what we can do, if I have any hose to patch this stinking vacuum line or not. I have to wait till tomorrow. There is the overflow. Alright, let's put this top on. Alright, so these bolts go in there, in there, and there, down there. Oh, there's a, as far as lining this thing up, this has got a little tit on the top, fits in a little hole in the bottom piece. So it lines them up really nicely. One on both sides, one there, one here. I dropped this bolt, but it goes to that bracket and go through two of them. So I gotta go find a magnet, a telescopic magnet. I gotta go fishing around down there, and I heard it clunk. So I know it's something metal, but I can't really see it yet. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I'll tighten all these up, and then a harness that goes in its little groove there, and then hose, and then we'll put some stuff in it. Okay, as the final episode. Ended up doing it at night, so the way I do this, and so there's no controversy. Universal. I get gallon antifreeze concentrated. This is only a couple bucks more than the 50/50, which is half water, so it's ridiculous to buy half water and pay only a few dollars less. So let's get you a real one. Dump this whole thing in there, then I fill it up with some good water, in my case bottled water out of a big bottle, but distilled water or something good. My water's out of the well, it's not good enough. So then I dump that in there, and then I take a second gallon of this stuff, and the one that I just used, I fill it half full of water and fill the other half with concentrate right on it, so it's 50/50. Top it off, and you gotta drive around a little bit, warm it up or whatever, and then I'm gonna check it and see where we're at. And we're down a little bit, so 50/50. Now you can take this and use it in there without having to dilute it anymore. Antifreeze, pretty much antifreeze anyway. I like the fluorescent green stuff, but they have orange and blue and all kinds of other nonsense colors. It's all ethylene glycol. Alright, well that's it for that. Doesn't take very much more. And then we shall, okay, come on. Of course you want to check for leaks and everything. There we go, and I got no leaks, and nothing leaking out of my line. So yes, and the last thing I'm going to do after I do this, I'm going to go to my overflow tank. In my case, this thing, it runs dry a lot, so right now it's pretty close to dry, so I'm going to fill it to what would be the somewhere halfway between the cold and hot section. Usually have lines on them. I don't know if this one does or not, but I'm going to put some in here, the overflow tank, because it'll also suck it back into the radiator when it needs it, if it's just a little bit low. So how much I got in there? Put a few inches in there. I'm just going to dump the rest of this in there. take what's left over with my other one and probably mix it with some water. And yeah, I got somewhere down there, somewhere half. The last thing you want to do is check your transmission fluid, since the transmission oil cooler is inside the radiator. I'll have to warm it up and do that with the transmission hot. That'll be the last thing. Check my transmission fluid and top that off as you need it. It may take a little bit because dump whatever is in the tank in there, and that should do it. I got everything's nice and pretty. That sits on a little thing. In fact, I may just put a little clamp on that to keep that in place. All right, we're gonna call that a wrap. So everything's looking good.